Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm in Leeds today doing one of my city walks. I'm at the top of Eastgate where it joins onto Headrow. The Headrow I should say. Town hall there in the distance. I'm starting today in Dortmund Square. It's a walk I've wanted to do for quite a while now. It's not really a square as such, it's just a bit of road that was paved. It's called Dortmund Square because this statue was put here, I think back in the 80s, when Leeds and Dortmund were twinned. Although the end of the walk does come back up Eastgate, the start of it kind of sticks to the back streets, I suppose. And there's a couple of buildings I wanted to show you. It's Tuesday, it's July, and it's been tipping it down with rain for the past 6 hours. Yesterday was the day that I made the coleus video when I was in my garden, and it was delightful. But of course, with the rain, it necessitates walking through the city centre with a brolly to protect my phone. Now I do love these city walks, but I am still a little camera shy and feel very self-conscious. This is short. So I was coming this way because you could usually walk through and see this Trinity Church, is it? The oldest church in Leeds. I'll check out the bottom entrance, see if that's open. So I do. I think it's 1650 something it was built, and back then it would have been on the very edge of Leeds. The medieval part of Leeds was the other side of that building there. There's this little park as well. As I say, so I'm a little bit self-conscious about walking around town talking to my phone. But somebody who saw me doing it did say that it just looks like I'm talking to somebody on the phone, so that's reassuring. I came here in that awful time that was the COVID lockdown. There's a opera group in Leeds. Oh dear, my memory. Are they the Northern Opera Group? Based in Leeds, and they do a series of concerts. They're in Street Rest Garden. This garden was made and is maintained by the trustees of Wade's Charity as a memorial to Thomas Wade, who by his will of February 1530 left monies to be expended for the benefits of the citizens of Leeds. Originally opened in 1932 and now maintained by Leeds City Council. The Garden of Rest was refurbished in 2006. Anyhow, there's a gate open. They do, the opera group, they do series of concerts and community events every August, and they're usually in like Morley Town Hall or somewhere like that, but because of COVID they were able to hold it, but had to be held outside, so they held it here, and the stage was there, and where the murals are, and everybody sat in the deck chairs. We didn't get the memo about bring your own deck chairs, so I had to sit on the grass. My wife sat on one of those benches up there. But you know, it was fantastic, it was amazing. It was the first live event we'd been to for like, I don't know, a year or something. It was the first time we'd been anywhere for almost a year. As I said, this is, I want to do various walks in Leeds, trying to sort of work out little routes, and this is a route I've decided to do down the back of the Headrow, down the back of Eastgate, and then back up the frontage if it's not too busy. But as I say, it means I have to have my brolly with me. Which isn't ideal. Look at that for a shot, eh? I wonder if that'll still be here in 400 years' time. Oh, it's run by the Church's Conservation Trust. St John the Baptist, I think it is. Welcomes over 5,500 visitors a year, receiving 3,700 in donations. I'll come back one day when it's open. I think that down there on Briggate would have been its main entrance. Back of the shops on Briggate there, pretty old themselves. It's all kicking off in the old churchyard. Oh, here we go, that's what I was looking for. John Harrison, St John. St John's is one of England's most remarkable churches. It was built by this celebrated benefactor in 1634, cloth merchant and co-founder of Leeds Corporation. He further endowed the town with almshouses, a new grammar school and a market cross. Alright, where's Leeds Market Cross then? Anybody knows? Let me know in the comments. Well, there's the entrance. And this is Briggate. And we're not walking down Briggate today. I suppose we can. That's the Howard Assembly Rooms there. That was a cinema for a long time. Used to show adult movies, but it's part of the Grand Theatre now. I don't know if I already said, if you have any ideas of places for me to, little routes to take in Leeds, and leave me a comment. Briggate is an actual walk I'm planning on doing. I'll double back. I went looking for a sign about the church, which brought me out on Briggate. I had intended coming down here. Never know what this building is. It looks like super old. I don't think it is. If you know, let me know. But yeah, this is the park, the church. I would have come out just up there. And my walk is taking me downhill to the bottom of Briggate. And blow me, as if this wasn't hard enough. Slippy footpaths, camera in my left hand, brolly in my right hand, and the wind's getting up. I say my phone is not waterproof. I've been out on other walks and it's gone a bit wacky on me. Seems to be only people in high-vis jackets. If you know Leeds at all, you'll know that it's quite famous for its arcades, and again that's probably going to be a video. In itself. This is the Grand Arcade. And the area there, the building that we saw from the outside, I think it's a nightclub now, it was a cinema, the Tower Cinema, and that would have actually been the back of the cinema. It used to be a pet shop when I was a kid. There's a puppies in the window. Hey, the world has changed. That was the Grand Arcade, and again I'm getting ahead of myself because this is the walk in about 5 or 10 minutes time. The building there with the scaffolding, that was the old, the boarding up to the left, that was the old ABC cinema. But anyway, let's go back up. This is interesting street, Marion Street. I think I passed it on a Friday and Saturday night, and there's all tables outside, blocked off at each end. I used to always come for a curry down here with some friends. I absolutely swore by it. There's that side entrance. This is what I wanted to bring you and show you. The Tower Cinema sign still there. Always a good programme. bustling, fair price. Wonder if that's saying 2 old pennies. And this was the front of the Tower Cinema. It's now called the Brotherhood of Pursuits and Pastimes, the Leeds chapter. Blimey, that doesn't sound very dark, does it? I'm sorry about the weather, folks, but it seems to be how this summer's panning out, so I think if you want me to do anything, you've got to get out in the rain. I always like that shop, the noodle house. But I wanted to come this way, show you this building. Which sounds. It was the Leeds Dispensary. I think it was built in the early 1800s, long before we had a National Health Service. Thankfully we've just had a change of government, so we might have the National Health Service for a bit longer. But yeah, that was the Leeds Dispensary. I think where poor people went to get help with their medicine. As you can see, it's now richer sounds. So we're now on I can't remember the name. Anyway, this was where the ABC cinema was, big old cinema. Held hundreds and hundreds. Eventually became a bit of a multiplex type of a place. And the arcade there. It's a pub. I actually never went in the Templar. I was waiting, there was a bus disgorging, seemed like hundreds of passengers. But it always appears on the list of classic pubs in Leeds. I don't know if the inside is like the outside, because I said I've never actually been in, but it's got these lovely tiles. Probably have to go in one day. Probably have to do a video about the pubs still remaining in Leeds, even though I have stopped drinking almost 10 years ago. So I'll probably these days get to the end of the video and still be able to be coherent. Coming down here, so I'm still trying to remember the name of this street, but there was a series of bus stations in Leeds. There was about 4, and this is also so we're going to visit the old red bus station. But the medieval city went from here as far as the parish church, up the Headrow, and then back down to almost to City Square. So you can see this was it. It was quite a small place in medieval times, and it's marked by 4 bars. This Barstone, that's the northern boundary of the built-up area in medieval south of Leeds. It's another video I plan to do, is to actually walk around the medieval boundaries. I need to find what they are first on a map. But the bus stations, there was, we call it the Green bus station, the West Riding bus station. The West Riding sort of tended to go into the south of Yorkshire, into the rural areas. And there was a red bus station, this one, which was the West Yorkshire buses. They went into the Yorkshire Dales. I mean, this is still part of the old bus station. They went into the Yorkshire Dales and the coast. There was the city buses, and then there was the express coaches that went from that went around the country. But these were the bus stops here. All along here, and then it went basically this way to here. And I know because I used to work at Wetherby in the early 1980s, and it was a horrendous trip. It was taking me about an hour and a half, and I used to have to get a bus into Leeds to here, and then get a bus from the old, well, it wasn't the old red bus station then, it was just the red bus station. I've no idea what they're doing around here. It's all car parks. Yeah. So that was the bus station there, and then the buses used to come out here. Trying the best I can to keep my camera dry, but it's getting wetter and wetter. I'll have to stop for a second, I think. And as you can see, there's Eastgate there, the other side of the buildings. So as you can see, there's been a lot of buildings demolished here, and the reason I was keen to come, and I've been keen to come for months, there's a big chunk of old, and the reason I wanted to come on a Sunday, because all these car parks are usually empty, but there's a big chunk of old buildings here, and I don't know how long they're going to be here for. They're called the Lyon Works, and I think from what I've read on the internet, they were a food warehouse, something like that. So just for posterity, I thought I'd come and make a film of it. Templar Lane. But it literally has been boarded up for years. See, public transport's working a treat anyway. Really keeping all the cars out of the city centre. And it looks like it was a Chinese food warehouse, 1925. Not many cars. So I think it's safe to say this, if you were going to name this quarter, it would have to be the car parking quarter, wouldn't it? Shows you what kind of a day we're having. Oops. Not a safe place to walk by the looks of it either. It was supposed to ease off about 11. We're down at the bottom of Eastgate now, and opposite is where the famous Quarry flats would have been. So I'm nearly, just about, gonna start my walk up the other side. But I just thought I'd show you the back of these, because I do keep expecting to come down here and find that these have been demolished or turned into flats. Quite a lot of that car park though is where the cinema used to be, and that's been empty for absolute years now. So Quarry Hill Flats, it was an incredible achievement, I think. If you don't know about it, look it up on Google. It was built in the 1930s, had hundreds and hundreds of homes. It demolished real slums, no toilets, no heating. And they built these flats in a brutalist style, and I still think, especially when you see some of the appalling buildings that have been built in Leeds in the last 20 or 30 years, I still think Quarry Hill Flats was brilliant design. The only problem was, towards the end, the inside was uninhabitable, but as we've now discovered, I'm not sure what that is, an old chapel. I'll look it up, put it up on the screen. Inside, but as we now know, they could have worked wonders on the inside and made them into habitable accommodation, but they didn't. They just demolished them, and it's a real shame, because if they'd have converted them into modern living, there was nothing. If they'd have converted them into modern living, I don't think there'd be anything like it in the country for design and style. Anyway, that's where they were, where the School of Creative Arts is now. Not going there, but where we are going is on this central reservation. So that, if you just Google old petrol station at the bottom of Eastgate and look at the images, you should see it as a petrol station in the 1930s, 40s, 50s. It was there all the time. Quarry Hill Flats was there, and it's been retained. So really, this is the end of that particular walk. Well, the southern end of it, I should say. Got to go back up to Dortmund Square now. Looking back up Eastgate with the older buildings on the right and the modern shopping centre on the left. Let me know what you think in the comments. The demolished buildings, just like the ones on the right, to build that. And this thing here, this is a car park. But yeah, so I'm going to walk up the Eastgate today as far as Dortmund Square, and then next time, well not next time, but a future walk is to do Headrow and the back streets around the Headrow. I think this statue celebrates Arthur Aaron VC, Millennium statue chosen by the people of Leeds, sculptured by Graham Ibison. A Leeds boy educated at Roundy High School and Leeds University, Aaron ignored grievous wounds to help his stricken aircraft to safety on the night of the 12th of August 1943. By supervising the flight from Turin to Bone, North Africa, he gave up his life for those of his crew and was posthumously awarded the Victoria Cross. Unveiled on the 24th of March 2001 by Malcolm Mitchum, that's made the hairs on my neck bristle, DFM, last survivor of Aaron's crew. Wow. What a story. If you want to hear Arthur Aaron, type speak2.co/Aaron. Use your phone, this statue will call you back. Arthur Aaron VC, born 1922, died 1943. Wow, what a fantastic statue. And keep my umbrella out of everything. There's this modern bus station there, which now has the National Express station with it, and there's the parish church in the distance. The Leeds Playhouse there, recently refurbished, and where Quarry Flats was, well, goodness only knows what all that is. It's just I'm not going to moan today. Let me know what you think. But used to be able to walk through this with its copper roof. Some beautiful flower beds here. It should be all alive with buzzing. Where this car park is, this silver car park is, was the old Millgarth police station. Well, before that there was an even older one that was there since Victorian times, and then they built a sort of modern multi-storey affair. They're both long gone now. Just trying to figure out how to get off this island. I could be here for a long time. Let's go over here. Well, checked out the lovely flower beds. Sponsored by the Agra Group of Restaurants. What an awful day. Oh, green man, let's go. As I said earlier, if you've got any ideas for areas you'd like me to walk around Leeds, or routes you'd like me to take around Leeds, then do let me know. Another one I've just thought of is a circuit of, well, the circuit of medieval Leeds is one, and then a circuit of a car is king, and then a circuit of the boundary of Quarry Hill Flats. Thought that might be quite cool, and I was going to do that today, but I'm pretty much soaked and a little bit worried about my phone getting wet. I mean, nothing to see this side except a concrete wall. Victoria Gate, that's what this is called. I'm going to head in here, folks, see if I can maybe find a coffee and a toilet. I'm sure they won't like you filming, so I'll get back to you in a few minutes. I didn't get a coffee, but I did find a toilet in the, didn't bother with the Victorian Quarter. What a soulless place. And it smelt of those, you know, those plugins that you get. The entire shopping centre smelt like, I imagine there's an absolutely enormous plug-in the size of a bus somewhere. Leeds Market, what a vibrant place that once was. I know it's a wet Tuesday, but it did seem a little bit on the quiet side. Used to be a shop just here called Maturi's. Used to come with my dad. Used to get knives sharpened, tools sharpened. They sold everything, kitchenware. But it was a great place. And this place here was the British Gas showroom, when there was such a thing. You go buy your cookers and fires. Yeah. Go on, I'll say it. It's awful. Awful building. What do I know? I think Quarry Hill Flats was design genius. So this is Eastgate. You can see there. And this is a Vicar Lane, of course it is. I've only lived here 64 years. Old Barclays Bank there on the corner. And Vicar Lane there, going down towards the market. And that's where we were earlier. Better shot there of the old red bus station on the corner. Still really in its entirety. It's like a community hub now, I think. They have food and bands and things like that. A community venue, I should say. The Three Legs. Another pub I've never been in. And believe me, I mean, I've been in plenty of pubs in Leeds. Exactly all I've again. I think these are probably Bermontoft tiles. There was a pottery industry in Leeds. And tiles was one of the things that they made. There's some in the Great Hall at the university. I'm not saying for certain, but this building here where Sports Direct is, where we started our walk from, that's the Odeon, was the Odeon cinema. See how big it was. I used to come there every Saturday. Also than the ABC really. Fantastic, huge cinema, and then they divided it into two eventually, and then multiplexed it, and then closed it down when cinemas were really struggling. Was that in the 70s? Crash Records. Famous record store there. I don't go in there to spend this month's salary. So we've become the Headrow. I don't know if we became the Headrow at the junction where Barclays Bank was. But again, the medieval city was on our left, and probably open countryside was on our right. The Brigate's completely closed off now. Wow. But yeah, that was Sports Direct, that was the entrance to the Odeon cinema. I used to come on Saturday and watch a movie in the morning, and if you were lucky you could get into the other screen in the afternoon. Awesome Trumpet over there, another old pub. If you know anything about any of these pubs or buildings, then please, I'd love it if you commented. No idea what time it is though, but all these boozers are quite full. Did I say another pub I've not been in? Oh, maybe I have, of course I have, yeah. This is how you got into the City Varieties here, but the entrance to that's at the other side now. Yes, it must be lunchtime. This is people with umbrellas everywhere I look. And cross over. So I got asked by a friend at work, a colleague, to make a video about what had happened to Matalan. Why had it closed? Matalan, it's a shop that sells bedding and clothing and stuff like that. And it was the core shopping centre. Not built to last, like a lot of modern buildings. Before it, there was a shop there called the Schofields, which was a place I used to go with my mother. She loved it. It was a little bit of an upmarket store, and she loved it. And they demolished it, and they built the core, which is a bit of a dive, and it's been empty for well, there's hardly any shops in it. Anyway, she asked me to make a video about what had happened to Matalan and why it had closed. Look at earlier videos, I mentioned Pablo Funk in that. I didn't realise this was where his wife died as the Charles Croft, where he used to perform his circus, collapsed. But yeah, not that it's worth the effort, but I'm just going to take a quick once round the core because, Francis, I know you're all dying to know, it's getting demolished, and it's going to be made into more plastic apartments, or as they're also known, student accommodation. So again, for posterity, I'm going to have a little walk round. And we're back, folks, at Dortmund Square, which is where we started and where we'll finish. But we're just going to walk a little way along here to show you where we're going next time on our walk. And still got the medieval city on our left. Remember, we saw the North Bar a little while back. And the future walk will go down the Headrow to the town hall. But this Leeds Mathematics School, for a long time, this was the Leeds Permanent Building Society. Oh yeah, you're welcome. This was the Leeds Permanent Building Society. There we go, Burley Bar Stone. This stone, now housed inside the main entrance of Leeds Building Society, marked the medieval boundary between the manorial borough or town of Leeds and the main riding, the surrounding agricultural land, first recorded in 1726. So the Headrow there goes down to the town hall. We're not going that way today. We'll the car is king. So I'll just carry on once round the core and then back to Dortmund Square. As you can see, it's a pretty dead part of Leeds these days, and this actually used to be quite a busy little street. There used to be a stationer's down here, and there used to be shops all on the left hand side here. But what do they build? Walls in the city centre, just like they've done at Victoria with the car park. Walls facing onto the streets. Shouldn't they have shops and cafes facing onto the streets? Probably wants demolishing, but it doesn't want more student accommodation in the city centre, because the city centre will end up like this, especially for the months and months of the year when all the students have gone home. I think that was that a HMV? I can't remember. I got to risk it for a biscuit and walk through. So I'll finish the video for today, folks. This actually, where Sainsbury's is, going all the way down to where the Odeon was Lewis's. It was a massive department store, went over about 5 floors. It was a fantastic place. Shopping has changed so much. I'm going to call it a day. Go get some lunch. I hope you have enjoyed this video. It's one I've been wanting to make for a while. I hope it turns out okay. If you did like it, give it a big thumbs up. you didn't like it, go on, let me know why. And if you do like this kind of content, do consider subscribing to the channel. But for now, I'll say thanks for watching, and cheerio.